Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to do a review of a simple product that makes a big difference. Most of the time when I shoot, I shoot with natural light or available light, and often when I do use flash units, it's when I'm doing portraits or sometimes in weddings, different kinds of settings. Well, I'll use add some additional lighting, some strobe lighting through that. One of the challenges, of course, with using flashes is that particularly when the flashes are direct, some of you have discovered this with using onboard camera flashes or even with a hot shoe mounted flash, that direct flash tends to not be very flattering in any kind of way. It tends to be kind of bright and harsh lighting. It leaves a lot of shadows. There's innumerable problems to deal with that. And so most of the time, even if I'm shooting events, because of the high ISO performance of camera bodies today, I tend to just shoot with available light, and then I get much more natural results through that. When I use flashes, if I'm using one on board, I prefer to be able to bounce it off a surface if the ceiling allows for that, or even better, to use wireless triggers and to set up flashes in a remote way, often diffused through softboxes or umbrellas, or something to help to moderate the light and make it a little bit more flattering. Of course, that's not always possible for a variety of reasons, and of course bounce flash doesn't work very well when you go outside. And so this little product that has recently been sent to me is one that I've been putting through the paces the last several weeks, and I've discovered it makes a very massive difference. It's a simple product. It's called the Lite-Scoop 2. It's by a little company called Light Genius. And this little product, it's designed to help to shape the light, and so you don't have that kind of harsh lighting effect. And it works shockingly well. It's fairly simple. It's black on the outside, and of course has the reflective white on the inside. It's kind of a foam material, but it's got some steel wiring within, which I'll get to for another reason inside, that helps to shape it. And so it's designed to, and let's just take a quick look at the best way to use it. If you're using it in a kind of a landscape orientation, the best thing to do is to rotate the flash head up to the side, pointing up like this, and then all you got to do is use there's a Velcro strap on it, and you just strap that into place. And so that is the end product that you have. And so as a result, what it's doing is that rather than that light being lost, and of course you do lose quite a bit of light when you're bouncing, particularly the higher up. If you have a ceiling that's quite high, you lose a lot of light before you get to that point. This is helping that because it's basically just allowing the flash to, rather than going straight and producing hard shadows, it's shooting up, and then the unique curvature of this is shaping that light and helping to diffuse it, but also you lose very little light in the process. And so it's surprising how well that works in terms of shaping that light and allowing it to come out in a more natural, more pleasing way. And it makes a huge amount of difference. And here are some kind of before and after examples to show you what a huge difference it's making. There are no other settings that are changed in between these photos. It's just a matter of shooting once with just direct flash like this, no diffuser, no light scoop on it, and then using the light scoop like that. Now, if you want to shoot, as I often do, in a portrait orientation, the process is as similar, except for we're going to just point this up like this, and I'm going to rotate the light scoop around. And so now we're going to shoot like this. Now again, the advantage here is that because the main light source now is up here, it gets it up above the lens. Often if you're shooting with a flash, it's even worse when you're shooting in portrait orientation because the flash unit tends to be below the actual lens. And so that's what creates a lot of the shadows, particularly if you have a wall behind. This helps to get the light source up a little bit higher and helps to alleviate that. And so it works really well in that setting. Another nice thing about the light scoop is that of course, it works equally well indoors or outdoors. Because it's not relying on a bounce surface above, you can use it outdoors without any kind of issue, and it makes a remarkable difference. I've used this now in some portrait settings, just some kind of general settings. I've used it quite extensively in a wedding I shot last weekend, and I was really pleased overall with the difference that it made. And of course, it's quick and easy, and so it's in those settings, for example, in a ceremony where you can't set up kind of stands and remote lighting, and you're moving around, and you need your light source to come with you. This makes a huge difference, and of course it weighs next to nothing. It's very easy to pack along. And so it's something that's simple, but it makes a huge difference. And this will definitely be a regular part of my usage going ahead in those situations where I need to add some flash lighting for either for fill lighting, or which is a big reason why I will use flashes sometimes, to kind of mix with the available light. And so it makes a big difference for that to produce a natural result. And I've been very pleased with it in that regard. You can purchase these through B&H Photo. I'll throw a link down below for you to click through and take a look at it. And it's, it's not necessarily cheap, but neither is it expensive, and it makes a huge difference. The one thing that I will say, that if I could criticize anything with it, it's the fact that this is not something where you're molding and shaping it into the shape that you want. It has a very specified shape, and so the challenge is, of course, is that while there is foam, there's steel behind it, and so it's rigid, which means that because there is some curvature, it takes up a little bit more room for packing, and it's not something you can kind of condense down or fold down to take up less room, and you really don't want to deform it too much because it's relying on that shape. And so it seems like it's reasonably durable, but I would have to be careful with it in the way that I pack it because I don't want to abuse it. And so I've been very pleased overall with the product, the way that it functions, the way that it works. I would just be careful in the way that I stow it, because I want this to be around to use for years to come. The great news is I've got one of these to give away, and so here's what I'm going to do. If you will, down below, if you will click share on this and share it to social media, it can be to Facebook, it can be to Twitter, be through whatever that you want to share it to. And what I'm going to do is there's going to be a random selection of someone who shares this video, this review, out onto social media, and I will be contacting you once the contest is up in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I will be shooting off an email and getting some contact information, and one of you is going to get to take one of these home. I'm Dustin Abbott. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Always new reviews and new tutorials coming your way. Have a great day.